Good.
Good evening. I'd like to call December 1st work session to order. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Before we continue, we got Dr. Vincent online. Can you hear us, Dr. Vincent?
She's not on.
Okay. First, we have a report of the Fall Leadership Conference by Ms. Martin.
Good evening, everyone. What we wanted to be able to do is give like a brief overview of some of the things that were my takeaways. I do want to say that it was an excellent leadership conference attended by Dr. Burks, and our superintendent, Mr. Vick. He was also part of the leadership conference. And I'm thinking that the written portion of the memorandum that we've done is a part of the packet now. And in going over this just briefly, one of the points I wanted to make is making sure that we have a pad on the back from Dr. Burks. He received his Premier Circle Pen for 33.5 hours of professional development. Same way for me, a Distinguished Circle Pen for 49.25 hours of professional development. The leadership conference, usually the focus is on, of course, the things that school boards do, along with the superintendent and governance team, in order to highlight what school districts are doing. The first early bird session that we had, the name of it was Ready to Work, Ready to Lead, Strengthening CTE Programs. A few of the things that I have highlighted here were points that were made. I think the major takeaway for me is making sure that the program is aligned with what NDE has for workforce development. They have a model that we're supposed to be using to implement our programs. The next one was Educators Leading the AI Shift, Stories from the Front Line. One of the things that my takeaway was here, several things were mentioned, of course, is making sure that our students are receiving better skills in their writing. And I say that as a board member because some of the times when we have students come before us with discipline issues, and I'm reading through their packet, I look at how their writing skills lack so much for the grade that they're in and what have you. They pointed out how, unlike it used to be where a teacher who taught writing, English language arts, they would have to take the time to go through and read, which took a lot of time, and now we don't have to do that. And so a teacher can actually give instant feedback, immediate feedback, and I thought that was interesting for me as a board member to be able to take away that fact. The next workshop is Phishing, Don't Take the Bait, Governing Safely in the Age of Cyber Threats and AI. I think the point here was making sure that our section I that we have in our policies, that we're going through that. You know, I always say, Mr. Vick, that we have policies, but it's a matter of making sure that those policies are being implemented. And that was the main thing that was emphasized in this, is in this age of AI and cyber threats, we have to make sure that we're following the policies and putting things out there to be followed by not just administrators and those people who are on that side of it, but also for our students. The main day on Tuesday, November 18th, the workshops that we had, the one that really was powerful was our keynote address. This was Mindset Matters, Cultivating a Positive Mindset to Strengthen School District Leadership. And here, one of the things that the speaker talked about is how engaged employees they matter. How employees engage with one another, it makes a difference. The mindset of employees determines our inner dialogue. Our inner dialogue determines our efforts. And that is really critical when we're looking at the culture and the climate in our school district in terms of how we relate to one another. He said, live with celebration in mind. That spoke volumes to me there, because sometimes we encounter people who have a woe is me type of mentality. We have to be willing to help them elevate the conversation. And he said that one of the simple things that he says is, tell me something good. And I thought that was interesting, because we may think that we're not in control of conversations, but if you're a listener, you're in control of that conversation. You can bring it back around to where we stay on a positive note because of the lives that we have in our hands. We should be willing to do that. The next workshop was Start with Hello, Governing for Student Wellness and Resilience. And this one was actually student-led. I thought it was interesting because they had several students presenting their effort to make sure that all students understand that violence is not a good thing to even consider being engaged in. So I would love for us as a school district to consider the Promise Club, and it's called SAVE, and the SAVE stands for Students Against Violence Everywhere. And so that was one of my bringbacks and takeaways that I hope we will consider implementing. The next workshop, every word counts, leading through misinformation, crisis, and change. One of the critical things here is in our policies, how we go about making sure that misinformation is dispelled, and when there is a crisis, how we handle that. And I just thought that it was interesting to hear for a school board member the things that I do have a say in, and I just wrote down all of the policies that we want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves familiar with. I thought it was interesting, policy JAD, Equal Access Student Organizations. The mention was that there was a group that wanted to do a Charlie Kirk club, and the policy itself speaks to how when we're doing things like that, we've got to make sure that it's student-led, and that any adults in the space, that they're just there to monitor and observe. And I thought that was an interesting point to make there with that particular workshop. The next one was, it takes a community building trust, creating connections. Let's see, this was powerful, and I would love for us to have an opportunity, if we could, to actually, along with our city board, have some type of way, whether we're going to Hattiesburg or if they're coming to us, but their mayor, Hattiesburg mayor, and Hattiesburg's mayor and their superintendent, they spoke about how city government connects and links with the school system. And one of the quotes that the mayor said, he said, public school or private school, it doesn't matter where our children go. It's a matter of understanding that our city rises and falls on the public school student. And we have to understand that here for the city of Macomb as well, that not a lot can be accomplished if we're not embracing the students who attend our public schools. The superintendent of schools, one of his quotes that I had to write down is that we need to graduate the community that we want to have. And that spoke volumes, because when we are about the business of making sure that the community where our students live and grow and breathe, we should understand that when we put a diploma in their hand, we're saying to them that we've given you our best so that you can come back and give us the community that we're in need of. And so that was a takeaway, two takeaways that I had from that. But it was interesting to hear all the things that the city of Hattiesburg does to heighten the efforts of the students who attend Hattiesburg Public Schools. Let's see, legal lessons in leadership. And this was, the title of this was that we didn't see this coming, we didn't see that coming. And I think for the legal team, for the MSBA, their point that they were making is that sometimes we tend to forget about specific policies. And so the ones that I have listed here were the things that they mentioned about how it's sometimes unbelievable that we tend to forget. And one of them would be, let's see, employees friending students on social media. That was something there. Oh, and the other one too, that Brooks and I were talking about, that we sometimes, as a school district, don't implement, and that's policy JH8 on booster clubs. And I know that particular policy, it speaks to how August 1st is the deadline for us to receive financial statements from anyone calling themselves a booster club. And I think one time that I've been on this board, we've had those things presented to us, but it was not presented in a format that we could actually say that we received financial statements. Some people came in from PTA with just documents in their hand, receipts and things like that. And I just wish that there was some type of a way that we could actually improve how we oversee what booster clubs are doing, because there's people out there who are using the school district's name and they're raising funds that never actually make it to the school district to help our children. And so those were my general takeaways, and I don't know if you, Dr. Birch, or you big things to add, but for the most part, the reason why I wanted to do this was so that it could be understood that we're not just going to get away from home. Sometimes it is, but for the most part, the gist of what is taken in is a waste of time to go and come back, and we're still not accomplishing the things that are discussed in those workshops. And so that's what I wanted to make a point of, and I appreciate the time, the opportunity. That's what.
Thank you, Ms. Morton. Dr. Vincent is online. Thank you for joining us. You have anything, Dr. Burke?
Just want to add to that is that Dr. Jackson, with the School Board Association, one of the biggest things that she said that is a big concern now is how we manage our booster club funds. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that we began to have a protocol in place where they have to begin the school year turn in their financial a copy of it at least to the central office. I don't know if that is something that we have been monitoring or not, but that's something that we can go back and look at. She said that's across the state, because there have been several cases where there have been other districts who really have gotten into some serious trouble. And I know that some of you have seen a couple of districts on the news recently that same concern. The other thing that I just want to add to that is that, as I shared with Ms. Morton, is that going forward, I'd like to see our board as a whole represent the district from to be able to obtain and require the board, the merit award for the district for our attendance, for our training opportunities. So that's something that we can look into.
Superintendent?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. One thing that was really kind of stressed during that workshop was AI. And they stressed how moving forward we cannot be afraid of it, but we must introduce to our students so they can use it responsibly. Because it's a part of the world we live in now. And there are several different resources out there where you can bring in AI and utilize it in English and math classes, but use it responsibly where the students are not using it to plagiarize or cheat, they're using it to learn from. So we're going to look into some of those resources for the upcoming school year.
Okay, thank you. Next week on the agenda, we have the discussion of December 8th school board meeting. First, we'll call it to order Macomb School District Vision and Mission Statement. 30 seconds of silence, adoption of the agenda, schools at risk, Higgins. Review of the minutes. Any questions or concerns about the minutes? Review and approval of financial statements. Any questions or concerns?
Yes.
Dr. Burke?
Just for clarity's sake, on our budget status report, the fund balance as of, that's indicated on the status report that we received for, I guess this is the period, October to October, in October. When do we, first let me ask this question. When do we budget amounts for the in-district departments?
You mean like just say, for example, maintenance and technology, that's what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's happening at the beginning. At the beginning, yes, sir, we do the, presentation. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, we're going through that budget process then.
So, when I look at budget item number 1158, it's showing an amount of $355.48. So I just wanted to explain to me whether or not, make sure I understand what I'm looking at. So are we saying that that's all we're gonna give, we're gonna fund for the band program?
No, sir.
Mm-hmm.
If you look, that's just what was like remaining from the last year.
From the last year,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So
So then,
what, that was why I asked the question in the beginning, when do we rebudget their amount?
at that year, so that'll say, so when you see anticipated revenues,
So that's the amount that we're going to.
yes, sir, and that includes what we give them and if they collect any dues or fees from the kids.
It included,
Yes, sir.
included in that. Okay, that's what I need.
Yes, sir.
I want to know that. The other thing is, I see that, for an example, on our, item number 2594. So we don't know any kind of an anticipation on that funding,
Now, 2594, that's ESSER too, so there is no more funding for that.
no more funding for
So
that.
2598 is the only ESSER.
And we've expended all that was there, right?
Yes, sir, well, all, yes, sir, that's it, all that we, the deadline is here, so I think that everything is spent out, and we receive everything that we spent, and we reimburse for it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Ms. Hall, if I may mention too, we have an ESSER 2 marketing visit on December 8th, correct?
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna look at how we spend our ESSER 2 fund, and we primarily looking for a lot of our fixed assets we have in the
Yes.
budget, that's the fund.
Yes,
ESSER
sir.
2 fund.
And that's one, the next person that I'm going to ask on that.
Do we have a list?
Yes, ma'am, what we did was we printed a list of all our ESSER 2 inventory, and we went to building by building and located those items. We had the principal locate them first, then we sent a team in, like, Mr. B is mother go to actually
Put their hands on.
put their hands on.
Okay. I know you're on it, Mr. Lee. One thing you know is inventory.
On item number 3462. Do we know, is this the actual balance that's out there?
Yes, sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and, when is our, you know, our next payment?
So,
Around,
it's
oh,
on,
it's
on
off, okay.
that thing, I don't know what else to talk, Mr.
Okay, but
President.
this is the actual amount.
Yes, sir. And we have those funds on hand, so we're just waiting to, you know, get the project started and everything. But we got that lump sum, so it's on hand in that bank account.
Okay.
Because it's a separate account for that.
So, has my next question is, have we, the transaction that I questioned at last meeting, has that adjustment been made?
Yes, with the 16
For
section.
me,
Yes, sir, if you look at the bank rate, you will see the adjustment on there. And so what happened is several. So it's several bank, rates, so we went back to, she went back to June. She had to correct it from, 25, the end of 25, she went back to June, and we made out a correct, so everything can balance out. So yes, sir, so if you look at the, October bank statement, everything should be cleared up.
so. That should, okay, I see what you're saying, but you're talking about the bank reconciliation.
Yes, sir.
All right, bank reconciliation, so that's why she went back,
Yes, sir.
Jim, that's why we have those.
Yes, sir.
Show that correction. That's what I was trying to, because I didn't see, you know, there was no indication where the 3 million had been, you know, reconciled. And now,
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay.
Any more questions about the, financial statements? Next up, we have the claim docket. Any questions or concerns about the claim docket? Dr. Burke? Any questions about the claim docket? No questions. Next up, we have the report and presentation of the business of the superintendent.
Thank you, Madam President. Number 901, 16 session report. I guess I would like to report there, on the 24th of this month. We did receive an adjustment, on the abandoned property that we were asking about. The property now has went back over to the district. We can now release it, do what we need to do to the, school board, okay?
Okay.
Teacher attendance report, enrollment breakdown, and district report, teacher student, teacher of the month. Well, 2 through 4, I will get from Ms. Keita, by the end of this week, and teacher, and student of the month will cover at the regular board meeting.
Thank you.
Next, we have the consent agenda, items 1 through 5.
Any questions or concerns?
Next, we have the regular agenda, approval of policy review.
Any questions or concerns?
Number 2, approval of the 26-27 academic calendar.
Any questions or concerns? I just have a statement, or maybe, Superintendent Big might want to answer. We already approved this calendar, we was missing 1 day, so we went and corrected that. What day was it?
Easter Monday, correct?
Easter Monday. So that date was corrected, so this calendar was previously approved, but we skipped Easter Monday. Any questions or concerns?
Number 3, approval of curriculum course request of Bridge to Career.
Any questions or concerns? I don't have a question or concern, just another one of those items I would like to just say that the changes is allowing, students who do not pass their state exam to be able to graduate with a new entity that the Department of Education had implemented. And it's listed in here, it's called Bridge to Careers, but they'll still be able to graduate even if they don't pass their state assessment. But I think it goes through the counselor and the superintendent gonna get with the student that this might affect and try to get ahead of it before the last week or so of graduation. We don't need nobody thinking that they're gonna graduate and they can't. So this right here gives the student the opportunity to graduate whether or not they pass the state assessment.
Yes, ma'am. So in summary, it give our student at the high school another option to meet graduation requirements. Okay? We want to get them every level of opportunity that we have out there to receive their high school diploma.
So, let me be the devil's advocate. Sometimes perceived as that. Well, the first question. This is not, will this replace?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Okay. The next question. This will be communicated to the students and the parent
Yes, sir.
as an option.
Right. And once approved, we get communication to our students and parents.
Right. So you see where I'm going. That to make sure that that is clearly understood.
Yes, sir.
That it's not replacing the other things that are already in place. It's just another option.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Because sometimes those type of things can be misconceived.
Yes, sir.
But I do have a question. Would this be available, how soon in the high school education process would this be available? And the reason why I'm asking it is because we on a block schedule. So that means kids can take multiple courses. If they take this course in the 9th grade, whether they pass the state, I'm just asking, whether they pass or not, what grade would this class be available? Because if most of the kids take it, just in case they don't pass it, you don't want to wait till they a senior and then trying to catch up. So I'm just trying to see, when are we offering this course? Is it freshman, sophomore, junior year? When would this be available?
Madam President, I would like to get with the principal and the curriculum coordinator.
Okay.
We'll discuss that.
Okay, does that make sense? That way they on a block schedule and say like, if I take it in the 10th grade, but I pass my state exams, I'm okay. But if I take it in the 10th grade and then I get a senior and I done took tests 3-4 times and didn't pass it, I'm still basically qualified to get my diploma because I took that ahead of time, win, lose, or draw. That's all I'm saying. I would like the parents to be available and understanding that being on a block schedule, most kids are graduating out on a home with way more credits than they need. So this can be an opportunity they could take it whether they need it or not, but it's available and when they could, earliest they could take it.
Yes, ma'am. And we will report back to the board our intentions fully, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Number 4, approval of agreement with Bailey Construction Company.
Any questions or concerns?
Number 5, approval of agreement with education material specialist.
Any questions or concerns?
Number 6, approval of our township range report.
Any questions or concerns?
Yes.
Dr. Burke?
Which one of the ranges is the summit area?
This would be, you can't give me else for that?
Not off the top of my head, no, sir, I cannot. I usually have to call transportation or the Pike County, actual tax assessor's office.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it makes a difference whether or not we have elected or we have all of our board members appointed. Because you gotta have X amount of students that live outside the district, Attorney Lee, would you know that question, what percentage? Because it's on here, out of total, out of city is 17.7%.
Let me look at the statute. There's a statute that dictates that language, that includes that language, that requires that.
We gonna continue, Attorney Lee gonna give us an answer for that later.
Yes, ma'am. Number 7, approval of cyber security insurance.
Any questions or concerns?
Yes.
Dr. Burt's question.
In reading the policy, I know that it indicated that we already have this company as a vendor
Yes, sir.
with their policy and it's getting ready to expire.
Yes, sir.
But, and I'm just asking this because of some new information that has been brought to our attention. And as a matter of fact, as it was mentioned in our fall meeting, I saw nothing in the, I saw about the breaches and, you know, the services that they're going to provide. But there are also, we need to have something in place for our AI concerns.
So when
You might need to speak with them.
So I'll contact them tomorrow.
Yeah, I know, what updates do they have, because we need to make sure that's a part of the policy that we're renewing.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Dillon, that number is 15%.
So we above.
We're above
Yes.
15%. Okay.
Any more questions about the cybersecurity insurance? Superintendent?
Yes, ma'am. Number 8, approval to write off AP checks.
Any questions or concerns?
Yes,
Dr. Burks?
these are checks specifically being requested to write off. For what reason?
They have not,
Clear.
cleared the bank, so they haven't cashed them, so we just
So-
need to write them off.
We just need to write them off, so this 26,000 should be back in our account.
Right, once I do that, yes, sir, then I transfer it back to, the general account.
General account,
Yes, sir.
okay.
So I think my question is, Superintendent, what happens if they present these checks? Because some of these checks are just like this one right here for $3,225 just from June.
What, Madam President, they voted after so many days anyway.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
because what I'm gonna do is, once they're approved, then I do a stop payment, I have to do a stop payment for each check to the bank. So if they try to cash me anything, the bank won't cash.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
But legally, if they want to pursue it for some reason to say that they didn't never receive the check, and we receive a billing afterwards, and those funds have been expended somewhere else.
And so what we can do is I can get, we can just contact them to verify. So we'll just, contact the vendor,
Yeah.
see if they received the check, or what's the issue before we do all that.
And you probably want to make sure you get that in writing.
On their right. Am I correct, Attorney?
Yes.
Because they can say they never received it, the mail that went to Jupiter, and never came to, Magnolia.
Yes,
So
sir.
it would be good to follow up, right?
So we'll contact Shane. Yes, ma'am.
any more questions or concerns?
Number 9, approval of FY26 budget.
Any questions or concerns?
Number 10, approval to request to advertise for bids for cybersecurity RFP.
Any questions or concerns? Dr. Burks?
That, those funds are going to be expended out of technology or general fund?
You know, Mr. Biggs?
Federal.
That's actually a grant that was given to the Department of Homeland Security, MOHS. We're actually going to be reimbursed for it, so it's a federal grant coming back to the district as we expend those funds.
Any more questions? Superintendent,
Number 10, we have personnel recommendations.
any questions or concerns? At that time, we'll have closed determination upon whether or not to go into executive session. At this time, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
No. Okay, we're gonna call it. On special call? Okay. At this time, I would like to have a motion to call our special call meeting to order.
Madam Chair, I move to call the special call meeting to order.
Second the motion.
Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda as written?
I move that we adopt the agenda as written.
Second motion.
First, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? I'm sorry. First, we have approval of agreement with, MSBA. I'm sorry. Okay, Superintendent Vic, can you please let us know what this is about, a contract with MSBA?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President. The Mississippi School Board Association have a service they provide where they will actually go in, and it's almost a 6-month process, and look at all of our policies, and they will review the ones that are outdated, that are no longer relevant to what we do now, and replace and update all of those policies. So it'll give our, from looking at our policies online, some of our policies have not been updated since 2020. And so it's time now to go back and just do a review and make certain they meet all legislative guidelines. And this is the process that they do for school districts to make certain that when they're finished, all of our policies are up to date to today's standard, whether it's AI we're talking about, anything else that's out there.
Any questions or concerns for the superintendent?
One of the,
Ms. Martin?
yeah, I don't know whether or not it's a question or even a concern, but I would say that if we're going by the dates that we had next to the policies, that was one of the concerns that I know I've had, because the way we had it set up, it rotated from one section to another, and by the end of the year, the calendar year, we would have reviewed all of our policies in terms of, from the perspective of the school board. An example would be the agenda for next week has policy section B, school board operations. So it would have been for us as a board, each one of us individually, to take a look at that entire section. And if we had questions or concerns, then the work session would have been the time to bring those things up. And so I understand what you're saying, though, as superintendent, you can go in there and look and see yourself that there's policies that need to be reviewed and renewed. And I don't know that it would be that far out of alignment when that's a part of what we have employees to help us to do. So that would be my concern, would be what have we been doing since 2020 if we are, so far behind, this is 2025.
I would say one of the issues is that, so the board has historically reviewed policies and updated those policies in accordance with the recommendations made through the MSBA. I think the issue is the dates.
It's not being updated.
Policies, those dates are not being updated. That's the issue. That's probably the main issue, is that the dates are not being changed.
Correct, as we were doing.
Yes, that's right.
So that was brought up in a training that Dr. Burse, Ms. Martin, myself, and a previous superintendent attended. Ms. Cameron was in there. They used Macomb as an example and said our agenda and our meetings and our minutes reflect that we were reviewing them, but it was not being updated. And I brought it back to the district, we talked about it, and us as a board, all we can do is tell the superintendent. So I think in retrospect, Superintendent Vick is now saying to take it off our plate, to save responsibilities. He would like the people who actually help implement the policies to come in and maintain our policies and get it corrected and make it accessible and correct to the public. That's what I receive it as.
That is correct, Madam President, because they have the legal expertise that we need to make certain that we are in line with everything when it comes to our policies. So that this is the direction I would like to go for the coming school year. Like I said, it'll be almost a 6-month process. It takes about 6 months to complete the whole policy review and everything.
Any more questions or concerns?
Yeah, and the cost?
It's
$7,000.
I'm sorry, okay, I don't have,
Do I have a motion?
My question is, if we have locally, what will we do?
You mean for the board, Dr. Burke?
Yes.
We would still have to approve them.
If there are changes in
If
those
changes,
policies,
we
the
would still
board
have to
will need to
approve.
approve those changes.
But MSBA gonna correct the issues that we're having now totally and clean it up. Because we have a policy online that has to do with the pandemic that's actually dated in 2016, and a pandemic didn't happen until like 2018, so the dates are wrong. But to get it off and get it corrected and keep it correct, this is the best way to go about it. That way it's not one particular employee that's monitoring. And when changes happen, they will notify the superintendent, then we put it on the agenda, then we review it and reapprove it. And we also could continue to customize policies to fit just Macomb. For some policies, at some point, we would have to say, hey, this does not work for us, and this is not the route to go. In fact, I talked to Superintendent Vick about our graduation policies that says that you need to declare in the 10th grade that you would like to change to a more feasible time in their senior year. So our policy said one thing and he won't change it. And the stuff like that, we could always customize it, but this right here will get us where we need and get us corrected. And once we know better, we do better.
Okay, that's basically what I want to know, to make sure that we still have control.
Yes,
Oh, yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to say something.
yes.
Yes.
Only with the changes. So basically, when they go in, they're gonna correct our system and make sure that it's up to date and maintained correctly. Because when we was in that training, they told us, and we brought it back, that we had several issues, but as board, all we could do is give it to the superintendent and expect them to pass it along, and that just hadn't happened. So we had a different juncture at this point.
Well, with that in mind, will Superintendent Vick, will they be responsible for making the automated changes? Or will they give it to us and we make the automated changes?
No, once we approve it here, they will make the changes.
I'm saying on the, within the system,
Yes, sir.
so they will have to have access to the system.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's their system, the system is through NSBA.
Yes, sir. But I want to emphasize that you, the school board, will have to still have the final say so in approving or not approving the policies.
On changes, not what we already have, what they gonna do is, and I don't wanna get nobody confused, cause it's about to, it sound like it's getting confused. If we have policies that's legal and binding in the system, what they're gonna do is update the dates stating that they are corrected, it has been reviewed, and it is printed correctly. Cause I think last month or the month before, we received a policy, there was 3 policies from, we done changed it 3 times since then. Then we had to receive a corrected version of it, which was an update. That's no longer gonna be an issue. So when we receive stuff, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the correct version, the updated version, the version that was passed by the lawmakers in Jackson, so it's gonna be correct. Now, when changes happen, is different than what we already have in the system. Those policies will be sent to the district, and those policies will come on the board agenda for approval of the correction. And if it's a policy that we need to customize for the district, we can also put that on the agenda and correct those too. So that's how it's gonna work. Unless a policy that we have does not align with the law or MSBA, those will have to come back to us. So we might have more policies over the next couple of months than we normally have. But if they are correct as written, they will just update the dates. If that's clear, I was trying to make it clear and simple.
Yes, ma'am. And just keep in mind that you guys are gonna be reviewing and approving policy ongoing for the next several months.
Right,
Okay?
right.
As we go through this process.
Any more questions? Next, at this time, we have a student issue with the student. Oh, I'm sorry. I need a vote for the approval of, can I have a motion to approve the agreement with MSBA? Thank you, Ms. Cameron.
So moved.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with MSBA. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The student, we still got, okay. I need a motion to go into closed determination whether or not to enter into executive session.
So moved. Second motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
He has to, because the board has to approve readmission.
He going to double check before we close out. We went into closed determination, but there was no need to have an executive session. At this time, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Madam Chair, move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.